always celebrate Cardinal athletics. So get your friends together and get into this one. We will show you all the wins, so hurry up and get to that favorite spot because you won't want to miss his show. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. We have a lot of stuff to bring everybody tonight. A lot of video.
We do. We've got everybody going, and we are mid-season now. Some teams already starting to look not too distant future into postseason.
Yeah, and I can't believe this coming Friday will be halfway of the football season. So
it will.
Crazy.
And
crazy.
It has been a great start so far. The good Cardinal football team continues to roll after taking their first road trip of the season to visit Park Center on Friday night. Pirates were coming off their first win, but the Cardinals were not about to let them scuttle their perfect start to the season. Coon Rapids had its best offensive output so far and scored its most decisive victory yet as they moved to 3-0 by raiding the Pirates on their home turf. After a blocked punt set them up with very short field, Cardinals start scoring. Miles Taylor punches it in from the 2, Coon Rapids on the board. But they weren't about to just run away with it. Pirates have a pretty good running back, too. He put on a show on Friday night. Emmanuel Tamba takes this little pass in the flat, turns it into a huge play, goes all the way across field, and then gone. 78 yards, catch and run. Park Center has the 7-6 lead early in the second. Later in the half now, Stein pressured from the pocket, trying to force this one to his receiver. Ryan Garlick has the tip. Joseph Tarnu gets the pick. And a nice return sets Cardinals up deep in Pirate territory. That set up a 37-yard Alexander Findlay field goal. Gave the Cardinals a 9-6 lead going to the locker room. They come out strong again in the third, opening possession, 1st and goal. Give it to Sonny Tao on the sweep. Gets the end zone untouched, 5-yard score, puts Cardinals back in front. They stretch the lead on their next possession. Taylor driving his way to the paint for a second time in the game. He finished with 118 yards on 20 carries. Cards up 22-7. Pirates answer with another Tamba TD, but Coon Rapids responds with a drive that ends with Jake Van Holzen finding Marshall Holland. Great catch for the 18-yard score, 28-15 Cards. They weren't quite done. Early fourth quarter, Van Holzen going to the air again. Great pass over the top to Kamaj Gant. His first catch of the season, it's a 33-yard touchdown. Cards up by 20. But don't celebrate yet. Pirates trying to fight back. Just a crazy play. Stein scoops up the bad toss. It's nearly picked, and then a great trap by Raker. Convinces with the celebration that it should be a touchdown. That's how they call it. Replay clearly showed it touched the ground, but that's as close as it would get. Cardinals defense comes up with the stop from there. Marshall Holland, great defensive play to break up that pass. Cardinals move to 3-0 with a 35-22 win.
Yeah, and it's one of those wins that going in, they knew that they had to do what they could to stop Tamba. That's a tough chore, but I really like the fact that they put up 35 points. Like the fact that that Holzen had a couple of nice touchdown passes with some great touch to it, and I thought that was something that was really important to see for us as this season progresses.
Well, and still some things they need to work on. There was clearly some miscommunication on several plays. The ball was slippery. It was wet. It was hot. It was humid. But they fought through it and they got the win. And they want to keep it rolling. Only 4 teams in the district, but the Cardinals want to come out on top. The other 2 teams, of course, are Hopkins and Forest Lake. Forest Lake loses to Irondale last week, and Hopkins loses to Armstrong. Coon Rapids Armstrong at Forest Lake and Hopkins, the other 3 teams, I should say. Armstrong gets the win, their first in conference play. Forest Lake obviously lost the one to the Cardinals.
They did.
So 2 teams at 1-0, 2 at 0-1. But look at the overall record. Everybody else at 1-2, the Cardinals at 3-0, and a big game on the road against Irondale next week. Then they come home and play Spring Lake Park.
Yep.
And the Cardinals will finish the season with the last two. The last 2 games are the final 2 games in the district against Hopkins and
Armstrong.
Yep.
So it should be a lot of fun.
It will go all the way and be fun at the very end.
Yes.
Tennis team has been very busy. We missed a tournament to talk about last weekend. or last week on Sportsnight. This was on the 8th. They were at the Moose tournament, and the Cardinals finished third place in that event. Schrader and Severson, second place in second doubles with a 3-1 record. Nelson and Newton, third place at first doubles, also a 3-1 record. Anna Bizcalo finished third place in third singles, and Grace Hanula was fourth place in second singles, finishing at 2-2. Then on this past Saturday, the Cardinals hosted a couple of teams they may see at least one of these teams in the section tournament, and they lose two tight ones to the Roseville Raiders and the Rogers Royals. Anna Samet won both of her matches at fourth singles. Georgie and Goldman won both of their matches at third doubles.
Okay. Well, it's getting crunch time for the tennis team with only a couple of weeks left, with a handful of matches remaining in the regular season. After postponing Monday's match against Blaine, the Cardinals welcomed the Andover Huskies to the Bob Pivot courts on Tuesday. The Huskies are one of the teams the Cardinals go in as heavy favorites, and they know they have to win if they hope to finish strong going into sections. We're going to start at first singles. Ellen Everhart in the far court for the Cardinals. Strong backhand forces the opponent to miss hit. Everhart wins 6-2, 6-2. Grace Hanula handling second singles for Coon Rapids, and she has the most dominant day for the red team. Great lob here, right to the back line. Hanula wins easily 6-0, 6-1. Anna Bizcalo serving for the Cardinals, coming up at third singles. She's really come on strong for this team this year, and she does it again against the Bengals. Bizcalo wins straight sets, 6-1, 6-1. Her strong play over the weekend certainly earned Emma Samet the spot at fourth singles. She proved she belongs. Solid ground strokes gets her in the win on this point. Samet wins 6-0, 6-2. Carly Nelson and Emma Newton are one of the top doubles teams in this section. They played like it on Tuesday. Good net play leads to a quick point on their way to a 6-3, 6-0 win. Then second doubles, Caitlin Severson serving up the ace. She and Jersey Schrader also able to win in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3. And the only match to go 3 sets was third doubles. It goes in the favor of the home team. Ella Georgie and Kelsey Goldman win 6-4, 3-6, 10-6. They complete the sweep of 7-0 over the Huskies. And it was a nice win for Coon Rapids.
Yeah, and we talk about it a lot of times in a lot of different sports. When you have an opponent that you are clearly favored in, you have to go out and not just beat, but dominate that team.
Yep.
Make sure that everything you need to go your way does, so that you just move on to the next and hopefully be more prepared for those higher level teams. Cardinals going to be very busy. They were scheduled to play Blaine on Monday this week. That's pushed back to Friday. They have Champlin Park before that on Thursday, and then they are at St. Francis next Monday, another tough section opponent. Volleyball team had a very busy weekend. They played 6 matches from Thursday to Monday, including a trip to Crosby Ironton for a tournament on Saturday. It started with a visit from Centennial on Thursday. 2 teams off to slow starts, trying to find a spark to get them going early in the season. Both were looking for their first conference victory of the year, and both were looking at this match as a great opportunity. No contrasting colors on the court for this one. Coon Rapids in the far court. They had the lead early in the first set and kept it close throughout. Cougars started to pull away a little, but they're slowed by the great defensive play by Sam Lom at the net. Gets the Cards a big side out. But Centennial gets on a streak late and slams the door on set number 1. Natalie Riley gets a kill on the right side as the Cougars go on to the 25-15 win. Coon Rapids fights back in the second. They get a lead early, and they're able to play with the lead for most of the set. Good volley going here. Nice turn by the Cardinals. Julia Galicia sets up Brooke Masteller for the kill. She led the Cardinals with 6 in the match. Late in the second, Cardinals up 23-20. Centennial attack is deflected. Alex Wright makes a diving save. Cougars try to attack again quickly, but they push it wide. Cardinals get the point and even the match with a 25-21 win. Third set featured a couple of long volleys, but almost all of them go in favor of the visiting team. Centennial reeled off 20 straight points and jumped back in front with a dominant 25-3 win. That put them in the driver's seat for the fourth, and they were happy to take the wheel. Centennial took the lead early and never looked back. They run away with a 25-12 victory in the fourth, grabbed their first conference win of the year, 3-1 over the Cardinals.
Yeah, they basically came back in that second set to get that win, but give credit to Centennial. They did a really good job of just dominating in sets 3 and 4 to run away with it 3-1.
Well, especially in set 3, got the momentum clearly back in their favor. Of course, a long stretch like that features a number of mishits and mistakes by your opponent
Correct.
as well. But to their credit, they just kept it going, and the Cardinals just could not recover. Over the weekend on Saturday, Cardinals up in Crosby Ironton, and they start with a loss to Hermantown 25-16 and 25-22. They beat Uppsala 25-15 and 25-18. They lost to St. Cloud Apollo 25-20 and 25-20, and Pine River 25-15 and 25-18. So 1 of 4 in 1 and 3 in the tournament on Saturday.
Well, after just Sunday to rest, the Cardinals jumped right back into competition on Monday with a trip to St. Louis Park. The Orioles are right at 500, 3-3 on the year, and coming off a 3-0 win over Metro West rival Cooper. Cardinals have been showing improvements the past few matches, and they were hoping a non-conference match might help spark a run of their own. Coon Rapids hoping for a fast start in this one. Early action in the first set. Strong net play by Cardinals, first with a block by Emma Wright, then Sam Lom goes up and tips it past the defense to the floor to get the Cardinals the point. First set stays tight. Orioles serving. Alex Wright forced to lay out for it. Great turn by St. Louis Park. They set up the big gun in the middle. Kendall Coley leaves no question on the kill. Orioles take the first set 25-19. Another seesaw battle in the second. Good set received by the Cardinals. Luigia sees it and Emma Wright finishes. Cardinals get the side out and it's all tied at 11. Set point for the Cards. Audrey Anderson serving, and she places it perfectly. Not coming back, the ace secures the 25-22 win, and the match is tied at 1-all. Another tight set in the third, and this time it's the Orioles pulling away. They set it up for Michaela Windward on the left side, and she hammers it to the back corner for the point. St. Louis Park wins the third 25-22. We go to the fourth. Cardinals trying to get it back to even and force a fifth end final, but the Orioles have other ideas. They go back to Windward. She'll get another big kill for the home team. St. Louis Park will win it in 4. 25-15 the final in the fourth, and unfortunately, they couldn't get that non-conference win on Monday.
Well, progress sometimes is slow,
Yes,
but
it
if
is.
it's steady, things work out in the end. It is. Any coach will tell you it's not how you play during the season, it's how you're playing at the end.
That's right.
Cardinals hoping to continually improve and be a team that might be able to take somebody by surprise come the postseason. Cardinals host Irondale on Thursday. They're at Elk River next Tuesday. Swimming and diving team, just one event over the weekend, taking part in the Panther Invitational hosted by Spring Lake Park. 4 first place finishes for the Cardinals. Megan Schultz a part of all 4. That includes the 200 medley relay, the 400 free relay, and then Schultz with wins in the 100 fly and the 100 breast. Tamala King also part of, I believe, the 400 free relay. She had third place finishes in the 100 and 200 free. And Ella Hacker also involved in both of those first place relay finishes. She had third place finishes in the 200 IM and the 100 fly. I wish I had enough time to talk about all of the details we get from Coach Doug Donaldson. He's so excited, especially, with the depth that they have. They moved up to third place. Yep. It's a huge jump from where they finished last year, point-wise. So it's not just about the girls that are finishing 1, 2, 3, but those 4th and 5th place finishes. They're getting more of those 4th and 5th place finishes that are really making a difference for the entire team. And of course, Megan Schultz continues to inch her way up the school all-time record book.
She's pretty good.
So she's top 15 in almost every event that she has swam. And continues to move up as the season progresses. Cardinals have a big duel coming up. They host Champlin Park on Thursday, and then one of the biggest tournaments of the year at the University of Minnesota, the Maroon and Gold Invitational, is on Saturday. Cross-country team, one of the, I think, 17 or 18 teams that took part in the Applejack Invite down in Lakeville on Saturday. Super hot conditions, definitely not ideal and not typical for mid-September, But they persevered. They got through it. 15th place finish for the boys. Reed Smith was the top finisher for the Cardinals. Andre Kemboy finished behind him. Then Johnson, Christensen, and Johnson, the top 5 finishers for the Cardinals, all in the top 100 of the race. For the girls, 14th place finish as well. Sarah Eichstad was their best finisher at 53rd, and then a big drop-off, 40 spots before Isa Hoagland comes in at 93rd. Our graphics are really small when the monitor's halfway
They're
across
hard
the
to
room.
read, yeah.
Zoe Hoagland finished in 89th.
Either that or we're just old.
Weimholt finished in 93rd. Well, you're old. I'm getting old. I think Isa Hoagland may have been in 83rd.
You're old.
That would make
You're
more
old.
sense. We have 2 93rd place finishes. That's on me. But
What's the time?
you know, they Coach Danny Green on his website talking about the improvements they're making. Pretty happy with their progress. Would have liked some better finishes, but talked about the weather being a factor. He talked to all of his runners before the meet and said, listen, you know, this isn't the important one. The important ones are at the end.
Right.
You know, don't overdo yourself.
Especially
Try
in
and
that-
pace
especially in
yourself.
that heat.
Yeah, and just take it if you have to. Take it easy, but still impressed with the way that they finished. They've got another big one coming up on Saturday. The Malacca Mega Meet is the largest cross-country event in the Upper Midwest. They'll be taking part in that on Saturday. Should have much better, more comfortable running temperatures. And then they are at the Mustang Invitational a week from Saturday. Boys soccer team started play last week with a 4-2 win over Rogers, but their schedule got a little bit tougher after that. On Thursday, the Cardinals welcomed Andover to the complex, and it was a test of 2 teams fighting to turn the corner midway through the season. They had similar records and similar struggles with offense, and they were both battling for position in the bottom part of the Northwest Suburban standings. All the scoring happens in the first half. Andover capitalizing on a free kick. Cardinals misplay it. Bounces right to Cade Williams. Easy header for the wide open net. And the Huskies take the 1-0 lead. They keep the pressure on, this time on the corner kick. Cardinals can't clear. Logan Penner gets control in close. Gets a good opportunity, but Tweedy able to make the save and keep it a 1-goal game. The pressure does eventually pay off, though. 50-50 ball right in front of the Cardinals' net. Headed a couple times, then set on a tee for Andy Rowland, and he buries it. It's a 2-0 lead for Andover. Coon Rapids gets one back late in the half. Pressure and perseverance on the part of Richard LaFaca creates the chaos and cashes in on the loose ball. He cuts the lead in half, so that's all the Cardinals would get. Andover holds on in the second, hands the Cardinals a 2-1 loss.
Yeah, tough. Those 1-goal losses are tough.
Well, and you knew going into that game with both teams kind of struggling to find offense that you didn't have to get a lot of goals to get a win. 1 goal could have done it. It took 2 for Andover. The Cardinals did pressure, get some opportunities in that second half, but not able to find the tying tally. Unfortunately, the road got really tough on Saturday. Totino Grace is a pretty good soccer team. They're currently the leader in the Northwest Suburban and have yet to be handed a loss, and they showed why they showed they deserve to be up there.
They're
6-0 win.
They're good. Well, the Cardinals knew they would need a much better effort on Monday if they hoped to get things turned around against Blaine. The Bengals may not be quite as strong as undefeated conference-leading Totino, but they're still a very strong club. Blaine had to even their record with a 3-1 win over Andover on Saturday, and they were still hungry for more when they welcomed Coon Rapids on Monday night. Bengals waste no time in welcoming Coon Rapids to the field. First minute of play, ball sent towards the goal. Misplayed by Tweedy, and Michek King Tambe right there to put it in the net. Cardinals in a hole 1-0. Just 2 seconds of the game. Blaine held possession advantage, and the Cardinals had several chances to even the score. Emil Begic with a free kick bangs it off the crossbar. Then off a corner kick, Dmitry Tkach, great header at Isaac Lear, goes just wide, and Blaine is clinging to that lead. They do get some insurance late in the half. Blaine pushing in deep. The first shot gets blocked. That leaves it for Dominic Hanlon. He leaves no doubt. No chance for Tweedy. Bengals take a 2-0 lead at the break. Well, we're going to move the same score late in the game. Dawson Penner trying to get around the corner. He's tripped up by Jared Havelka. After some discussion, they get the penalty kick. Ryan Gabler converts the PK, and that completes the scoring. Cardinals shut out for the second straight game with that 3-0 win for Blaine. That's tough, back-to-back shutouts. Certainly don't want to get shut out, but not 2 games in a row.
Yeah, well, we talk about, it's very important to be good defensively, but you have to score in order to win. Cardinals really having some trouble scoring midway through the season. Something they're trying to get figured out. They definitely have some talent up front, some guys who can get it done, but just not cashing in as frequently as they need to in order to get the victories. They're at Osseo on Thursday, at Centennial on Saturday. The girls team had a week off before hosting Andover last Thursday. They were coming off a tie against Armstrong, but the Huskies presented a much tougher challenge. Andover was 3-1-2 coming into the game and fighting for their chance to keep pace with the leaders in the Northwest Suburban. Cardinals were still finding their groove both offensively and defensively. They just couldn't keep up as the Huskies pulled away. Andover setting the pace early. Cardinals failed to clear, and the Huskies capitalized. They find Kelsey Callio cutting through the defense. She walks around the keeper, just taps it home, one of her 3 in the game. Andover up 2-0. Cardinals able to answer just minutes later. Long through ball with Anna Kepke alone when the defender falls. Kepke not going to be stopped in close. She gets back to a 1-goal game before the break. But it wouldn't last in the second. Cardinals with some sloppy play on the back end. Stephanie Bucalato hung out to dry. She can't clear, and there's no way she's getting back to the net in time. Easy goal for Olivia Neptli. Andover with a little cushion once again, and they were far from finished. They find Callio behind the defense again. She's going to tally another one and continue as the Huskies continue to pull away on their way to a 5-1 win.
Yeah, too many goals obviously to give up and not enough offensive power for Coon Rapids at this point for the girls squad.
That is the story of the season for the girls soccer team thus far. Not enough offense and giving up far too many opportunities to strong teams. Get blanked on Saturday when Totino Grace comes to town. Beats them 3-0.
Well, Joe, you know what? Never gets any easier in the conference.
I've never heard that.
I know, it never gets any, but if they didn't know that before, Cardinals certainly learned that with their visit to Blaine on Monday night. The Bengals are another team in the hunt for the conference title. They came into the game at 7-2, and while they're a few games behind the Northwest Suburban leader, they hope they're still alive. They made sure to take care of the Cardinals on their home turf. Doesn't take long at all for Blaine to start the scoring. Just a minute in, Lauren Dristy sends the ball behind and lets Tiana Del Grande run onto it. She fires to the far side and gets the Bengals on the board. Offense was coming fast and furious. Watch this play, passes long, but Jada Weege gets there and crosses out front to Sammy Perot, redirects. Blaine is up 3-0 in less than 10 minutes in. Coon Rapids able to answer less than 2 minutes after going down by 3. Anna Kepke gets one back. She finds some space and puts the perfect shot in the low center. No chance for the keeper, and it's 3-1. But that feel-good moment, well, it didn't last very long because the Bengals were relentless. They pound away with 13 shots on goal in the first half. They find the back of the net 4 more times before the break, and they coast from there to a 7-1 win. They were dominant. I came a little late, unfortunately, and missed their first 3 goals and the Cardinals' only goal. But from there on, they controlled the entire game.
Yeah, they just kept the Cardinals bottled up. They have a really good midfield group in Blaine and defensive group. They possess the ball very, very well. Cardinals having trouble passing, but having some troubles with communication, troubles on the offensive end, troubles on the defensive end. Of course, they've been without their starting keeper and senior captain, Jalivia Gallegos, for almost 2 weeks now with the shoulder injury. She's hoping to be back later this week.
Which would be great. They need her.
And they do, and even if it's not about necessarily the quality of play in the net, but just to have that presence,
leader,
back on the field will definitely help. They've got a busy week. They're actually hosting Duluth East on Tuesday night as we do the show. They're at Osseo on Thursday and at Centennial on Saturday.
It's a busy week.
Yeah, and we're talking 4 games in 6 days for the Cardinals. A busy time, and they've struggled offensively. They struggled defensively. Not a lot of positives, but they've got to try and keep their chins up, keep going, and find that spark, and hope to stop the snowball effect that's happened so far. About midway through the season, still a lot can happen.
And they have very little depth, and that's going to really test them as well, especially with 4 games in 6 days. And I think there was only one substitute on the bench for the girls last night.
No, for the boys.
For the
boys, there was only one.
For the girls, there was
right.
only one.
For the girls, there was only one.
Yeah.
One or two, most of the games
it's going to test
done.
them. It's going to test them. There's no question.
No question.
Got it in.
No question. I even wrote it into the script for you.
No question.
Didn't even notice. Well, we've got a lot more for you this week. We're going to try and do some tennis on Thursday, weather permitting. And then we are on the road with the football team on Friday as they try and keep that streak alive against the Knights. Live coverage at 7 o'clock. We'll have volleyball at Elk River on Tuesday next week. That also live at 7 o'clock. But that is it for this edition of Sportsnight. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us to continue to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young. Say goodnight.